Hello, you beautiful, thriving woman. And this is Freedom, just joining us for a second. Today, what I wanted to share with you is the difference between a scarcity mind matter or mind thoughts versus an abundant set of mind thoughts. And, one of the things that I don't like to do is call it a mindset, because to me, that's something that's kind of set in stone and going to stay that way. And the mind is very flexible and very fluid, and we constantly have thoughts coming and going. So, what we're going to talk about today, scarcity versus abundance, and which one are you really focused on, and which one do you really think about? I'm Heather Dunlop, founder of Thriving Woman, and just want to share this with you today so that you can figure out if you're living in scarcity or if you're living in abundance. And there's a difference between living in scarcity and having a lot of money versus living in abundance and not having much money. And the main difference is when I talk about abundance, I'm not talking just about money. I talk about how much joy you have in your life. Are you really having fun? Are you happy? Are you really happy at the core? Do you have inner peace? And of course, money. Money comes in many formats. Money is an energy. So if you're able to attract love and joy and happiness and inner peace into your life, you're also capable of attracting more and more money, because it's all an energy that flows, and it ebbs and flows according to what your thoughts are and what you focus on. So when we talk about scarcity, it's having those thoughts of, let's use money for an example. Let me get freedom out of the way for a second. Let's use money as an example of scarcity versus abundance. It's something that we can measure. It's something we can measure with ease. It's also something that a lot of other people will measure you by. Don't worry about that. Who gives a crap what they think? It's really, what are your goals and what are you looking for? You can be fully abundant. And I know people who are making $50,000 a year and are filled up with love and joy and happiness, and they're quite happy with the amount of money that they have in their lives. And I also know people who are earning over $1 million a year and are miserable. And even though they have that money in their life, they don't have abundance because they don't know how to connect with people. They don't know how to love someone. They don't know how to love themselves. They are just miserable and constantly having an inner turmoil. One of the things you want to think about when you're thinking about having an abundant thought process and thinking about abundance is the way you think about it. So if you think about, I don't want, so I don't want to be poor anymore. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be living from paycheck to paycheck. You might be thinking that that's thinking of abundance, and reality is it's attracting more and more scarcity, because the mind kind of drops off that word don't, and it just hears broke, paycheck to paycheck, and that's what you get more of. Whereas when you switch how you think and the thoughts that come up in your mind, and you start thinking about abundance, and you start thinking, money flows to me easily. I'm earning over $20,000 a month with ease and joy. Clients are just naturally attracted to me and want to work with me. They come to me ready to give me their credit card and sign up and work with me. That's an abundance thought process. All right, so if you think about what I don't want, you're going to get more of what you don't want, because the mind drops off that don't. And if you think about just what you do want in your life, so let's switch it. Let's say instead of thinking, I don't want to live paycheck to paycheck, switch that over. How much do you actually want to earn each month? How much income do you want coming into your accounts every single month? You can say, I see $10,000 flowing into my bank accounts with ease every single month. And sometimes I don't even know where it came from. Money just flows to me easily. It's an energy. It flows to you and it's attracted to you. So just think, money flows to me with ease and grace. Money is attracted to me. I love money. And it's all about that energy of money. All right. So if you're thinking, I don't know if I can do this, You're sending out that doubt. I'm not sure. I don't believe it's going to happen. It's not going to happen for me. So that is negating everything that came before it and getting rid of it and pushing out that abundance, because it feels your mind and your subconscious resonates with all of that negativity that you're letting flow in with it. So instead of thinking, some people will be thinking, oh, money comes to me easily and freely. Yeah, doesn't it? Yay. That's not going to happen because you don't have that full-on belief. The universe wants to give you all of the abundance that it possibly can. And if you're thinking, well, if I get $10,000 a month, I'm taking away from somebody else. This person over there can't have it. That person over there can't have it. It's a load of garbage. You all can have it because it circulates and it flows. So if money flows into me, what I do to help it is I continue to invest it in other things. So a thought process I have is every time that I pay a bill, pay for a house payment, make a car payment, that money is coming back to me 100-fold. 100-fold, it's coming back. So happily write out that check, happily make that online payment. I make that car payment and it happily comes back to me 10-fold, 100-fold. It always flows back to me because money is an energy. And if you try to stagnate it and hold on to it and suffocate it, you're not going to get more of it because you're not allowing it room to breathe. And this is what can happen with some people who have a good amount of money. They might have, say, $1 million in their retirement funds, and they're not investing it anymore, and they're just keeping it in a savings account. Well, let's look at that. Savings accounts are paying like 0.01%, like 1,000% these days. And if you look at inflation is typically around 3%. So by keeping that money in a savings account, they're actually losing money. They might say, oh, I still have my principal, but they're actually losing money because the value that can purchase today is not the same as the value it could purchase 5 years ago or 10 years ago, or even 2 months ago before all of these CARES Acts came out and all this funding, because that's all coming from us paying taxes. So if you're keeping it in a savings account, even though you might have a large principal in there, it's actually devaluing because you're stagnating it. You're not believing in abundance. You're thinking, I have to hold on to it, and you're suffocating it. You're not letting it go. It's like, that old saying, if you love someone, let them be free. It's like the story of the butterfly. So the story of the butterfly starts out as a caterpillar, right? We all know caterpillar is eventually going to become a butterfly. So what does a caterpillar do? Lives its life as a caterpillar. It then wraps itself up in its cocoon, and it allows it to grow, and it nourishes itself, and it starts to grow wings, and it's in that cocoon, and it's growing and nourishing, and it's becoming and metamorphosing into a butterfly. As it becomes a butterfly, it cracks open that cocoon, and it slowly sheds the cocoon off so that it can have wings and become a beautiful butterfly and fly away. That's the way it's supposed to happen. What happens sometimes, though, is that you have the caterpillar, and it says, okay, it's time for me to become a butterfly. And it creates that cocoon and wraps itself up in the cocoon, and it starts to get all the nourishment, and it starts to metamorphose and become butterfly, and it's starting to grow its wings. And as it's ready to leave its cocoon, it starts to crack the shell and spread. And then someone comes along and says, oh, you're stuck in your cocoon. Let me help you, and peel it off. And what happens? The butterfly does not continue to grow because it needed that time to shed its cocoon and really open up its wings and become that beautiful butterfly. Instead, its wings haven't fully grown and it's not capable of flying, and it ends up dying. It's the same thing that happens with money. Money is an energy, and it needs to flow and move and move and move. And if you kind of want to help it without actually nourishing it and allowing it the time to nourish and invest and grow, and you want to hold on to it and get in the way of that energy and stagnate that energy, your funds aren't going to grow. So you need to kind of put it out there and put it in investments and actually feed the economy. And just because the economy may be doing extremely well or the economy is doing really poorly, that doesn't impact you, because you have your own individual economy and you can do extremely well and you can continue to thrive and grow when the rest of the economy is not, because you know how to have an abundant thought process and switch those scarcity thoughts into abundance. So with the caterpillar, the scarcity is that it's stuck in its place. I need to help it. I need to intervene. Whereas if you just switch it and let it do its natural process, it becomes this stunningly beautiful butterfly that goes on to live a life of a butterfly. Here's what I want you to think of. Whenever you have thoughts of scarcity, and it's okay, because even when you're living in an abundant thought process and you're focused on abundance, scarcity can pop up. Scarcity shows up in the way of fear. It shows up in the way of not enoughness. And you can, the key to go from having scarcity thoughts to abundant thoughts is to recognize instantly when you're thinking of scarcity. So here's the thing. If you have a thought process and you, oh my God, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. I want $10,000 a month. I want $10,000 a month. I want $10,000 a month. You can feel the urgency in that. And just go, okay, I recognize that I'm feeling urgency here. And this is how someone who is thinking of scarcity will think and react and behave. Boom, it's time for me to switch to abundance. And in abundance, I think $10,000 flows to me with ease and grace. Clients come to me with their credit cards in hand, ready to work with me, because they know that I can help them attain their goals and achieve the outcome that they're looking to achieve. Money comes to me with ease and grace every time that I pay a bill, or every time that I invest in my home and make mortgage payments. That is going to come back to me tenfold, 100-fold, because money loves me. I am a money magnet. All right. So if you're thinking scarce thoughts, even when it comes to your growth and your happiness, having a love life, many women will say, oh, I want a great man. I want a great man. And yet they don't do the things that will attract a good man to them. So they might have thoughts of, oh, all men suck. Why can't I find a good man? Well, you're not finding a good man because you have a belief that all men suck. All he wants is to take from me, and he never gives me anything. Well, because you're looking for someone who wants to take from you, and you have to switch it. When I found my husband, we finally met and came to be, I had switched over and I said, all right, what do I want in a man? What are the qualities I'm looking for? Because I want a loving, healthy, fun relationship that supports me. So I didn't look for a man who has a lot. I didn't say, physical qualities like, oh, he's got to be 6'2", and, or he's got to have, a massive bank account or anything like that. I looked at the qualities of the person and not all of the outside external stuff. So what does that mean? I said, what I want is a man who's kind, who is active, who is adventurous, ambitious, and he has to want to be with me. And when I became the person that could attract that, that's when we met. And it's been wonderful and absolutely glorious since then. And he is the true love of my life. And that's what I want for you. You can do this in love. You can do this with money. You can do this with friendships. You can do this with your career. So switch from scarcity, it's not enough, to abundance. There is more than enough for everybody in this world. There is more than enough food for everybody in this world. There is more than enough love. There's more than enough joy and happiness. There's more than enough money in this world for all of us, and that includes you. All right, so stop the scarcity thoughts. It's okay, they come up, recognize them, stop them, and switch to an abundant thought process. You're having thoughts and they come up and they say, oh my God, I just lost my job because of coronavirus. Boom. What opportunity is this going to present to me now? Because it is an opportunity. It's just switching how you think of it. It's like the two sides of a coin. One coin is black, one coin is white. If you look at it from this side, you might see the black side of the coin. I see the white side. Turn it this way, you can see there's two different colors on each side. You get to choose which one you focus on. So why not choose the abundant side? Choose abundance, and then everything will start to flow to you, right? And abundance doesn't show up in your time frame. You're going to be tested, and the universe is going to say, I want to know that you have the ability to let this grow. Comes to that, something that's easy to show is with money, because it's something we can measure. And the universe is going to say, okay, I'm going to continue to check you, and it will come. The abundance is coming to you. The money is coming to you. The loving is coming to you. You have to have the faith in yourself and the trust in yourself and the universe that it is coming to you. It doesn't mean, okay, I did a whole bunch of positive affirmations for a week and it hasn't shown up. Excuse me. No, that's not how it works. You switch over. You have trust. You have trust in yourself. You have faith in yourself. You have trust in the universe that it's all going to happen. And you continue to take the action necessary to make it happen. And that's the key here. You not only have to switch your thought process to become an abundant thinker, you need to take the actions. And it's okay if you take 10 actions this way and it doesn't work. It's just showing you that's not the way for you. So you adjust and you go back and forth. I grew up sailing, and we used to sail on a huge sound. And in sailing, you can't just go straight. The wind is blowing a certain way, and you can get across. You can go 60 miles from point A to point B. You just have to go back and forth to get there, and back and forth, and back and forth, and back and forth to get there. And you might be on one tack and you're going so fast, the boat's heeling over, and you feel like you're flying. And then at some point, you need to tack and go in the opposite direction, and you're going to go a little bit slower and a little bit slower. That's okay. You're going to keep going back and forth and move until you reach it, because the closer you get to your destination, the smaller those tacks become. You keep tacking faster and faster and closer and closer and closer and closer until you hit it. But initially, you might be tacking and going this far. And then as you approach, it's this far, and then this far, and then this far. So as you go, you pinpoint it and you keep focused on that final destination. You just tack back and forth until you get there. And each tack, as you get closer to your destination, becomes smaller and smaller. So how does that relate to creating abundance? Keep taking action. If you realize something's not working for you, don't stay with it. If I was sailing and I stayed with it, my gosh, I could run aground on the rocks. That's not what I wanted. So I tack. That's what you do too. You take your actions, and it's working and it's working and it's working. And if you recognize that it's not working, you immediately switch and take a different action. And you don't have to know every single time and every step of that plan to achieve what the abundance that you want to achieve. It's just like when I was sailing, I knew my start point and I knew the end point. I did not know how many tacks I would have to take along the way and how far I would go on each one, because the wind would shift and change all the time. So you go and you go and you go as long as it's working, and then you switch. And it's okay. It's not a failure. It's just part of the process. And you take the action and you have faith that all I have to do is take the first action, And as I go, I'm going to receive information, which is going to allow me to make my next decision and figure out what that next step is going to be. All right. So take the action, see how it plays out, and then take the next step once it reveals itself to you. And trust in the universe, trust in yourself that it will be revealed to you as you go. You know, the one of the biggest sayings is that take perfection is the enemy of progress. Perfection keeps you stuck because you don't know if it's right or if it's wrong or how good it's going to work out for you until you take action. So when you take action, you progress and you move forward and you say, okay, this worked great. Let me do it again. This worked great. Let me do it again. This worked fabulous. What's the next step? Shoot, that one didn't work. What should I do next? What should I change? Perfection doesn't exist. Perfection keeps you stuck. Perfection to me is really a scarcity mindset because it's about the lack and belief in your ability to move forward. It's the lack of belief that it's going to happen for you. There's so much out there. So go for it. And when you have those scarcity thoughts, which is, I have to get it right, I have to be perfect, that's scarcity. Abundance says, go for it, do for it, go for it as well as you can. And you know what? The next step will be revealed to you as you go. It's all available to you. You have to just start moving and make a decision and make a change as it goes. And it will reveal itself. And just trust and believe that it's going to happen. You can have a life filled with absolute love and joy and happiness and financial riches. You can be surrounded by people that you just truly enjoy being around, and that you just get so much from being around them that you just want to do more and it lights you up. That is about an abundance thought process. And that's about being an abundant thinker. Scarcity thoughts come up. Okay, change it. What's the opposite? What's the abundant thought that I can have out of this? Not sure what it is? Just ask. What would it take for me to What would it take for me to put $10,000 in my bank account this month? What would it take for me to have 10 clients sign up with me and pay in full this month? What would it take for me to find the man that is meant to be the love of my life? What would it take for me to be happy? What would it take for me to achieve inner peace? What would it take will open up the abundant thought process and let the universe feed you and fill you up. So stay away from scarcity. Those thoughts come up, okay, switch it around. What's an abundant thought? I know I'm thinking of scarcity thought at this moment. What is the abundant thought process that I should have? What is the abundant thought that I should have? What does the universe really want for me in this moment? What is the next thing that I can do to get closer to my goals? All right. So that's what I want for you. Switch it over. You want more of this from me? You want to work with me one-on-one? I do coaching one-on-one. I'm also going to be starting up a group program, but right now, one-on-one. And what I am going to help you do is ditch the sabotage, release all of that trauma, and begin to manifest everything that you desire. And you can do that without sacrifice. So schedule time to chat with me. Go to thrivingwomanchat.com. And let's get on my calendar and let's have a chat, see if we are a good fit for each other, and start to put together a plan for you to live that abundant life and for you to live the life of a thriving woman. This is Heather Dunlop. Make it an awesome day.